Good morning, everybody, or depending on whatever time you're listening to this, good afternoon or good evening. Do you know what good morning, good afternoon, good evening is in Spanish? Just a little
No,
test.
I don't. Do you?
No, in French, good morning or have a good day is bonne journée. So you actually use it for, okay, bonne journée, good morning. And then you say bonne journée after, have a good day. But I don't know Spanish. Sorry about it.
That's okay.
What
Well,
is
Edward, who do we have with us today?
This is Caden Rogers. Caden, tell us about yourself.
My name is Caden Rogers. I'm a junior, Christian ministry major with a business minor. I'm from Dallas, Texas. That's my Stanford repertoire resume.
Are you from like Dallas, or are you from a neighboring city?
So that's a sensitive subject, a little bit. I've actually gotten a lot of slander because I'm from 30 minutes outside of Dallas.
What's the town called?
It's called Flower Mound, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that's public information, so I'll probably get some stares around campus tomorrow.
You're good.
Which is not good. Yeah, Flower Mound, Texas. That's the home.
Sick.
Cool.
Speaking of, we're on Ben Brown today. We're back on Ben Brown. We were here for one of the episodes. I forget which one it was. But yeah, we're
Episode
back
3.
today. It is 10:45 a.m., November 18th. You want to guess what the weather is, Caden?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling a crisp, 64 degrees outside.
Okay.
How are we landing there, Jack?
Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm looking at my hometown. My bad. Let me go to Birmingham.
Fumbled.
You said 64?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 70 degrees.
Oh.
It's 70
it
degrees.
feels colder than 70.
It does. I think it's because it's windy.
What's the feels like, Jack?
Feels like?
Yeah.
I
need some validation.
Let me see if I can find it. Feels like 70.
Yeah.
Is that what does it feel
That's
like to
tough.
you, Caden?
Oh, it feels like 64. That's what. So should I leave now?
So according to Caden, it
Am I
feels
off
like
the
64.
No.
Humidity's a 65. And what's the UV? Can you guess the UV, Caden?
The UV?
Yeah.
2? 3?
What do you think, Edward? 2. It's a 5.
Dang.
I did not think it was going to be that high.
Wow. Really bad at this.
Yeah, it's a pretty day in Birmingham, Alabama. It's a little windy, but that's okay.
Caden, what's the coolest thing you've ever done?
The coolest thing I've ever done, that's a really good question. I have to say, SOAC beach trip. What was that, 2023?
Which,
Probably the
the
first thing
Fort
that comes to
Pickens one
mind.
or the other one?
Yeah, Fort Pickens.
Okay.
Fort Pickens. No. It was the
Top Sail?
Yeah, Top Sail.
I didn't go on that one.
That was just, I felt like it was cool. We camped in the rain, and that was insane. You guys remember doing that freshman year?
I do, actually. That was probably my favorite SOAC trip. It was a blast. Good time. Almost didn't go. Very glad I did.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the stupidest thing you've ever done?
Stupidest thing I've ever done? I bet all the Stanford people can relate to this one. There have been multiple days when I decide to leave my glasses at home. I'm walking around campus, and off in the distance, I think I see a friend walking towards me, and I'll kind of start to do the wave, and then I realize they're not someone I know. I've never talked to them or interacted with them before in my life. And so there's probably a solid 30 or 40 people around Stanford that think I'm really weird or awkward, because let me tell you that has happened more times than I would care to admit. So
I feel like
If that's the stupidest thing you've ever done, I
know.
feel like you're doing just fine.
yeah, I feel like you know a lot of people on campus that I feel like that if the odds of you waving to somebody and you not knowing them and them not knowing you, I feel like those odds are pretty low.
yeah, that is true. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely stupider things that I've done.
You just want to share.
Yeah, that's one that I can share on the podcast and not have my ego crushed. So
Yeah, I get that.
What-
So you're from Dallas. What made you come to Stanford?
that's a good question.
Thanks.
Do you want? It's like a super Jesus answer. Do you want the?
I would love that
story?
answer.
Okay. So when I was a senior in high school, I didn't apply for any colleges until probably December of my senior year.
Whoa.
And so I had my list. I only applied for 5 colleges, and my top 3 were Biola, Belmont, and then this small college. I don't even remember what it was called. And Stanford was number 5. I don't know why I applied. I just did. And so basically over December through March, every other like college that was on that list above Stanford like fell through. Either like their theological program was not what I wanted, because I knew I wanted to come and study the Bible, like
Right.
study Christianity and how to like share that with others. Or like some other reason, like the school just didn't fit. And so when I toured Stanford, it was like do or die. Like, I hope like this school checks all the boxes. It was one I wasn't even thinking about when I applied, and then it was like kind of my last resort option. And like I toured, and I remember stepping out of the car, like stepping on campus, just had this like wave of peace. And honestly, like after the tour, I think my dad felt the same thing. I remember he turned to me and he was like, "I think like this is it. Like, it
That's
just
cool.
feels right."
Yeah.
And then got to meet with the head of the biblical studies department at the time, Dr. Champa, and I don't know, just fell in love with Stanford's heart, not only for community and culture, but also for preparing people to go out and share the gospel and live a Christian life.
Yeah.
So
That's sick. Is
Here I am.
Dr. Champa still here?
no, Dr.
No?
Champa actually retired last year. I was in his
Okay.
last class, which was pretty cool.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
What class was that?
It was interpretation of the Old Testament and the New
Whoa.
Testament. It was awesome. It kind of felt like, remember those high school classes where the teacher's just so chill, like
Yeah.
you could not do any homework, you could still get an A in the class.
Yeah.
I think because it was like his last class teaching at Sanford, that was like kind of the vibe.
Okay.
Um,
I don't
so
know
it was
why I'm
really
saying
fun.
yeah, because I was homeschooled, so I actually don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
What was that like being homeschooled?
It was great. We had there was a lot of free time, but like we still had stuff done, and I don't really know. Everybody always like asked me. They were like, "Oh, do you just like do schoolwork in your pajamas all day?" Like, no, I would actually I would get up and like take a shower and get dressed and stuff like that. But every time I tell somebody like I was homeschooled, I don't normally just like tell people I was homeschooled. Like, they normally just kind of figure out, and they're always like surprised. They were like, "No way,
Yeah.
you were homeschooled."
Yeah, you don't strike me as a homeschool kid.
Well, thanks.
Did your mom make you like wear a uniform? You know?
No.
You didn't have like a
No.
like Stogner's homeschool
No,
like polo
absolutely
or anything?
not. No, I wore like a t-shirt and shorts.
Did you wear your double D shirt to school?
No, I did not.
Dang.
I don't know. I did not. I just wore it whenever I went to go work there over the summer. But yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Jack.
Okay, I would love it.
I'm not sure if you've talked about this on the podcast, but most people like their first job is like maybe a waiter or a host at a restaurant. Usually it's like tossing burgers at
Yeah.
McDonald's, or hitting like the Chick-fil-A, like customers with that "Have a blessed day."
Yeah.
But yours was in double D, right?
Yeah.
What was that? What was that like as a first job
Yeah.
experience there?
I think we talked about it a little bit on the very first episode. I think we talked about it on the very first episode. I think it was just very briefly mentioned, like, oh yeah, this is that.
Tell us about it.
So, Double D is my family's business down in Bogalusa, Louisiana, where I'm from. It was started by my great-grandfather and his friend. My great-grandfather's nickname was Dutch, and his friend's name was Don. This was back in 1967.
Dutch and Don.
So Dutch and Don started this company. That's where you get Double D from. Everybody always laughs whenever I tell them the name, but it's legit. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just like a meat processing business, and it does. Like, we do like smoked sausage. That's primarily what we do, is like smoked sausage. I think like on a busy week, we're doing probably like up to like 100,000 pounds of sausage a week. Not a day, but yeah, a week. I mean, it's great. I guess I started working there whenever I was younger. I think I was maybe like 14 whenever I started working there. But we started at 6. The room where I worked in was called RTE room, ready to eat. So that's where all the smoked sausage, it had already cooled down, and so that's where like we packed it and got it in boxes and got it ready to be shipped out.
That's,
so that's
like
where I worked.
It's a good process. Y'all are like committed to excellence.
Oh yeah,
at
yeah,
Double
yeah.
D.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Caden, what was your first job?
My first job? Oh man, I actually served at the Bartonville store in Double Oak, Texas.
Okay. What did you do?
I was a waiter, so I waited tables. I brought people's food. I had to learn like a bunch about alcohol and like drinks and stuff. And there were like multiple times actually where customers like they just offered me like I could taste their drink, and it was actually a pretty cool opportunity to share the gospel at the time. Yeah, but it was pretty cool. Definitely had some awkward moments there. I'm trying to remember some stories. One time we had a back porch area at the restaurant, and I'm not sure if you guys like know like at restaurants, but they have this little contraption at the top of the screen door. So when you open the door, it shoots like a gust of air down
Yeah.
to keep like the hot air inside,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
And so anyway, I was walking from that door with a martini in my right hand, and my
Gosh.
table's sitting right in front of me, like 10 feet eye shot distance. And I open that door, and that gust of air blows right down on the martini, and it implodes, like right there. Customers watch it. I don't even say anything.
Was this
I
like
just-
early on in your?
This was probably 2 weeks in.
Okay.
Yeah, I was still learning
That's
the
rough.
art. Yeah, and so that was my introduction to.
Was that your
serving.
first time? I guess like delivering a martini through the door.
No, I don't know what it was that time. Like I'd done it before, no problem, and that was just I don't know God's like choice to humble me. Maybe I was getting
Yeah.
too confident.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Yeah.
making good tips. The people loved me.
What was
After
the,
that, man, I was that was probably the decline. Right
Do you
there.
do you know like the largest tip you ever got?
Yeah,
if you wanna share.
Yeah, I'll share.
Who wants to share?
I got $100 tip multiple times.
Dang,
Wow.
multiple times. How
Multiple
many?
times.
3 times I got $100 tip. And it was I guess I brought excellence to the service.
I guess so. So we know you
Come
made at
on.
least $300 in tips during that.
Dang,
time.
you must have declined a lot since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first job was a climbing coach
Doesn't surprise me.
for let's see, it was like 7 to 12-year-olds, and it was basically just babysitting.
Really?
Yeah, but it was tough because I'd leave school and I'd go to the gym, and then I'd like do some homework in the gym, and then I'd have work, and then work was like 2 hours before, and then sometimes 2 hours like after practice. Practice was 3 hours, so I'd be in the gym for like 6 or 7 hours sometimes, and that was a lot. And I also did it in the summers, and in the summers it was like 10 hours, and then I'd stay there for practice
Yeah.
afterwards. So it was a lot, but it was kind of fun. You just got to like hang out with the kids and try and keep them from killing themselves. But
What was your second job?
second job was Starbucks.
That's right. I know that.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that.
So I was a little barista. Starbucks coffee sucks, but it was a fun job. I like actually really enjoyed the people there, and sometimes it was kind of a toxic work environment, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you meet some like interesting people every day? Like
Oh,
serving them, or-
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like sometimes my friends would come in like not even knowing that I was there.
Oh, really?
And that was always fun. Or like people that I kind of knew. I'd see people from the gym a lot there. That was fun. Starbucks is cool though. It's
Huh.
definitely an interesting place. It's like so fast paced.
Really?
So, not for everyone, but
Yeah. I get that.
What was going back to the climbing job? You climbed like really competitively in high school, yeah?
I did.
What was like what was your coolest like climbing moment? And what was like the most embarrassing, like the most humbling moment you had on the climbing?
It was probably the same thing, like the same moment. My first year on the competitive circuit, I made it to nationals, and
I've
that
heard
was
this story
fun.
before.
So I was like, feeling pretty good about myself, and sorry, Madison is, but let's see, made it on the competitive circuit, made it to nationals. That was fun. Get to nationals, absolutely get my butt whooped. Like it was just horrendous. I did terrible. But it was bouldering nationals, and there's 4 boulders, and like the way you have to like sit in isolation for a long time, and then you go out, and I had sat in isolation for like 3.5 hours. I'm just like getting ready to go out, and then you go out and you climb in front of everyone,
Huh.
and like everyone who's already gone too. And I think I was on my 3rd boulder. It's like just like imagine like so many people are watching you, including your coaches, which was the most terrifying part. But I was almost about to top this one boulder, and I fell. Like it was like a bad fall, just like landed flat on my back, and it was loud. And then the announcer goes, "Edward Jenkins takes a bad fall on boulder number 3," and it was just like a slap in the back. And then, yeah, I did terrible. I think I got 47th, which is just terrible.
What?
But
Like 47 points?
47th out of like 55. But
still, like still out of the 55 best climbers in the country.
I mean, yeah, you could say that, but
47th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
47th.
it was fun. It was fun.
I thought you were
good
saying you
times.
got like 47 points out of 55 points. I was like, I mean, that's not like horrible, but
no.
okay, no, 47th out of 50,
No.
55.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well-
mean, you still beat what? 8 people, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
So,
you could say that. You could say that.
so you weren't the worst, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Wait. What's your morning routine?
That is such a good question. Okay, if anyone doesn't know this, I feel like I've told everyone. I invested in a Breville like coffee making machine. It makes espresso. Like you steam the milk. Which steaming the milk, I'm still terrible at. It also like when you turn it on, it sounds like a jet is like prepping to take off. Like it's really bad.
Which like unit did you get? Do you know?
Yeah, it's called the Breville Express and Press. I will plug that. Also, if anyone ever wants a honey cinnamon latte or cortado, come by 902.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Come by Caden's house.
902 Salter Road.
Breville Express.
Wow, you're just putting that out there.
Press.
Hey man, it's a friendly community here at Sanford. $5, I will say, for a latte. But
Is this you right here?
yes.
There it
Can
is.
Can we show the?
I can. Yeah. We'll show a little
link it?
picture.
All right.
Yeah, we can plug it.
So just
Not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored, by the way. But hey.
Not sponsored, but like plugged.
Yeah.
Yeah, endorsed.
Yeah.
So like you got that picture right now on your screen of that Breville Express and Press. Like imagine me just standing there making my coffee.
Hey, Cody.
So we should back up a little bit. I'll wake up and usually I'll set my Bible like on my bed because I'll read and pray through just a passage of scripture. And so I'll wake up, take my Bible over to my desk, and I try and spend just like 15-20 minutes quieting myself before the Lord. And it looks different every day. Sometimes it's going through Luke, which is the book I've been kind of like trekking through. I shouldn't say trekking because it's a blessing. But working through in the morning. Sometimes if I'm like really struggling with, I don't know, like I forget what a gift the gospel is, I'll go to Romans 8. It's one of my go-to passages.
I think I have that one like paper clipped marked in my
yeah,
Bible.
dude.
What is it about Romans 8?
Romans 8, man, that chapter. Highly encourage everyone to go read it. It's really good. It talks about just being set free from sin and like what a gift it is to live like under the guidance of the Holy Spirit. And so there's a few verses down in there. It starts off, therefore, there's no condemnation in Christ Jesus. And so immediately that's like, man, anything you've done, like the slate is wiped clean because of the gospel, like right now in that moment in the morning. And like you read through, and it talks about how those who are in the flesh cannot please God, but those who are in the Spirit are like led into this new way of life of pleasing God. And then it goes on, talks about how all those who have the Spirit, it's like a testifier, a testimony, because we cry out, Abba, Father, and our hearts long for God.
Yeah.
And then it talks about how we have been set as not only like we've been redeemed, but we set as co-heirs in Christ, and how like in the new creation, like the whole creation will be redeemed and we will be redeemed as like co-rulers with Christ over it. And I really hope all of that is biblically accurate. I'm pretty sure it is.
We'll fact check before we put it out there.
Cut any of this. But it's just a reminder to me of that, like we really do have a choice between, living in the flesh and not pleasing God, or like living this life. If we've been set free from sin, we have no guilt, no condemnation, and we're living for something that like not is just of this earth, but that is going to be redeemed in the final day. Like that's eternal value right there. That's huge.
Come on.
That's
good. That's
anyway,
good.
though, but that's not always a part of the morning routine. But Romans 8, catch me in that passage a lot.
Fire me up.
Yeah.
So you make like your coffee, or like
So Bible first.
Yeah.
Honor the Lord first. First fruits of the day. And then I'll go downstairs. I have like my morning outfit. It's like sweatpants and like a baggy t-shirt, I don't know if you guys do that.
Do you own a robe? I feel like you own a robe.
No.
I feel like Caden's the type of guy to like come out of the shower and like wear a robe.
But that's just definitely an insult.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't know how I feel. I feel like that's like a grandpa
No,
move.
I feel like that's just kind of like a person who like enjoys comfort, and it's just kind of like I don't know. Like I could see
if
you
you
like
enjoy
wearing
comfort,
a robe.
wear sweatpants and a baggy t-shirt, not a robe.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I'm sorry, Jack. We're gonna have to talk about that later.
Okay. I did not mean
that
to
one-
offend you or insult you,
that one
Caden.
hurt.
I
That one
just
hurt, that
figured that you might own a robe.
I'm gonna have to go read Romans 8 after this. Just remind myself my identity is in Christ.
That's right.
Anyway, though, so yeah, no robe, sweatpants, baggy shirt. Go down, make my coffee, and lately I've been making avocado toast. And I'll fry an egg,
Mm-hmm.
avocado toast, sit down, and usually just try to have like 10 to 15 minutes of silence. And like sometimes I live in a house with 4 other guys, so if they're up, I'll talk with them, but usually it's just me and my coffee and my breakfast. And I'll sit and eat, sometimes put on a podcast, sometimes do some homework for the day that I should have done the night before. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's sick. Jack, what's your morning routine?
Let's see. Depends on what time I have class. So I guess this morning. I'll say this morning. Woke up at 8 a.m. Kind of took a slow morning. I take a shower first. Took a shower first, get dressed, and then I read Matthew 1 this morning, which talks about like the genealogy of Jesus, and how there was it's cool because it was 14 generations to a certain point, and then there was another 14 generations, and then there was another 14 generations to Jesus. And so then like a little note that I think I had like in the top was just kind of like, you can see like throughout every single generation like God's faithfulness and sovereignty in each of these generations. It was super cool. I normally take a shower and then read something in the Word, and then
It's kind of scary, isn't it? Like talking about the Bible on like a podcast.
I think it's yeah.
No, but like what if you messed up on like the generations? Like you said.
Yeah.
And then you're like, bro, that's the word of God. You're just like, I don't know, lightning bolt like come down right now on Ben Brown.
I don't know. Hopefully not. But
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I mean, no condemnation in Christ. Anyway. Keep morning routine. Keep going.
What did I get dressed? Read something in the Word, and then maybe get something to eat. Maybe like a Honeycrisp apple. I'm a big Honeycrisp apple guy.
Yes, that's huge.
I also have like a little thing of like Nutella. It's not Nutella. It's hazelnut spread. So it's like the off-brand version of Nutella. And so like a Honeycrisp apple with like some hazelnut spread. It's so good. And then I'll normally come here. My first class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday is at 11:45. So when I come like Ben Brown, normally there'll be someone here. I'll say hey. I might go get like a bagel or something from Einstein's, and then we go to class.
That's
so
huge.
pretty chill.
Can we talk about like the fall off from like freshman year going to Ben Brown to like junior year going to Ben Brown? Like,
What do you mean?
Yeah, like who are all these people?
Yeah, like
That is
I
true.
don't know a soul.
I have like one table.
Yeah.
The SOAC table is my like refuge, and everywhere else is uncharted territory.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
real.
like another like that is true, but I think also it's like I remember freshman year like you'd come to Ben Brown and like you wouldn't know like anybody, but now I feel like I can come and I'm kind of like oh no, like I know more people, like especially kind of like in my grade you know more people, and then it's kind of like I guess I don't know the people like the freshmen and sophomores are kind of like that's what I don't really know, but like as a freshman like I feel like you don't really know anybody for a while.
I feel like I had almost the reverse experience.
Really?
Like, freshman year, I really put myself out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I would walk around with you on campus and I would just feel terrible because you knew everyone and I knew no one, which like that was my fault. Like I didn't do jack squat, but like you knew everybody.
No, I actually like.
What's wrong with me squatting?
Jack squat. That's awesome. But second semester freshman year, like I had a moment of like, man, I feel like I need to know less people. Like I actually like consciously tried to tone it back.
I feel like I remember talking about that with you. But that was like, I was like in the opposite stage of life of I feel like I should know more people. So that was interesting.
Yeah, that was like a real talk. Like I remember me and Edward would like have these like I don't know, breaks throughout the week of like just getting together and chatting. And I was like, dude, we cannot go to Ben Brown because I cannot be around like more than 3 people right now.
How many like? This will be like how many people do you think you know?
Oh wow, that's
like
a
not
great
just like
question.
at Sanford, but like how many people do you think you know?
Like
you
in
could
general?
you can name them. You know them by name. How many people do you think you know by name?
I feel like, dude, that would be so awkward because there would be so many people I would forget, like, and like their name like would not be on the list, and they tell me.
If I like, I guess like the criteria for this for me is like if you see their face, do I know their name?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
I think I feel like there's probably over 2,000.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like all the circles I've been in and like, yeah.
I was gonna say something like 500 or something like that.
I think it's more.
Oh, he was homeschooled, so, But, I mean, that
You're
plays
from
a
where
part
you
in it.
Flower Mount? Is that what it's
Flower Mount,
called?
Texas, bro.
Flower
Turn
Mount?
up. Had a
Oh
great
no, you're
childhood.
from Dallas. My
Had a
bad.
great
You're from
childhood.
Dallas.
Yeah, hey, my school had like 1,000 more people.
Looking around right now in this like, I don't know, 300
I
square
can
feet
name.
or whatever, or more than that. I can name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
I feel like there's just like 100 people just on Ben Brown right now that I could say their name.
No way. No
Respectfully,
way.
there are not even 100.
There's not
people
even
here
100
right
people in
now.
Ben Brown right now.
That's just definitely not true.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24,
But one of those,
25,
Like
7,
10
28, 29,
minutes
30,
later.
31, 32, 33, 34, 35,
There
36,
definitely
37,
is.
There's not
9.
There definitely is.
I think there's probably about like 40 people
That's
right
it.
here.
No.
Between 50
Yes,
and
there's like
100.
40 right here.
Edward,
41,
you're-
42, 43,
you're
44, 45,
wrong.
46, 47, 48, 49. 43,
I don't know. I'm bad at counting. I'm a psych major.
Anyway, though,
I think there's about 75. There's about 75 people on Ben Brown right now.
yeah, I agree, but I'd probably put it about 1,500 for me. People.
Okay.
Yeah, over under 1,500.
I mean, I probably couldn't tell you much about those people at all, but like
You could just see their face and say, "Oh, I know that."
people
I know
that like
name.
actually know is probably like under 200.
I mean, like, think about like the Chipotle worker, that's rung you up. Like, you might remember their name, or like the barista
don't.
that made your coffee.
No, I don't.
That's a lot of people. What's y'all's like? I was asked this question once. I thought it was good. If you were to walk into a room, and in that room is every single person like you've ever met, who's the person you're going to first to talk to?
Every single person I've ever met.
Yeah, like even just like exchange names. Like it could be like Donald Trump if you've like had the privilege of shaking his hand. Not to get political, but
Or like, who's the first person I'm going to look for?
yeah. Who's the first person you're going to talk to, like in that room?
Mm.
Like mine would be David Platt. Shout out.
You've met him?
Yeah, I met. So
How did I not know this? Talk about that.
I told everyone. I sent
think I
this in
remember
all
this.
caps in the dogs group chat, like when it happened.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, good story actually though. I was at New Year's conference, campus outreach, another endorsement for them. But we went to get dinner, me and a group, and we saw David Platt. And also, I was straight up mad about this. Like, this frustrated me. Madeline Crowe, she nannies for David Platt's like partner in Radical. And so this like partner straight up went to Madeline and brought her over and introduced her to David
way.
Platt. And I was over there in the corner, just like, that should be me. Like, I've listened to every David Platt sermon. Like, dude, I know him. Like,
Were you
Wikipedia
starstruck?
search, I was like anxious. I'm not gonna lie, the whole time. But I came up with a plan. Like, I was not gonna let this opportunity pass me by. Like, Madeline Crowe is not meeting David Platt, and I'm not. Like, that's not happening. And so, me and my crew, we got a table, and I took a chair within eyesight of David's table, and I waited. I wasn't gonna go and like to his table and introduce him, but I waited for David and like his friends to stand up and walk out. And conveniently at the same time, I just went to go to the restroom. So I went over. I was like, "Hey, oh David, like Mr. Platt, like you have just been such a huge part of my spiritual formation. Like, oh my gosh, like it's so good to meet you. I'm Caden." And he definitely was like, "Who is this kid? Like, what is he doing here?" But I shook his hand and I met him. So I'm going straight to him. He might be like, "Why is this kid back talking to me again?" when I go up. But like, I don't care, man. Like, he's David Platt. I'm gonna take the chance.
Yeah.
So
That's sick. That's actually so cool. I would love to meet that guy.
yeah, it's huge. I feel like it was sanctifying. Just
I have
being in
no
his
clue.
presence.
I have no clue who I would say. I'm trying to. Isaac says one of the Shanes from Shane and Shane. Whichever one comes first.
Oh, he doesn't even know.
That's like one of my. What was that? I think someone I know from camp. I think their dad was like the guitar player for Shane and Shane, for a little while. Oh, okay. I
Shane
didn't
and
know they came
Shades.
Shades.
That was
That's
bad.
what it was.
Thanks.
What did you say? Shade and.
Shane and Shades.
It's bad.
I would probably go. That's a tough question.
I'm trying to think of like someone like famous that I've met.
I would just go talk to my friend James. I haven't seen him in a while and I miss
Mm.
him.
What is your what's your what's your Roman Empire? Like what is
No.
no okay.
Oh.
Sorry, not your what do you think about like what's
Whoa.
the thing you think about the most?
Thing I think about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna divert to Edward. Come back to me.
Something I think about a lot. People used to ask me this question, like when that question was popular, they'd ask me, and it would actually be the Roman Empire because I was in a Latin class where we just talked about the Roman Empire a lot, and so like I actually thought about it like a lot, like unironically. But now, I don't know. I think about my friends a lot, I guess.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I don't know. What about you, Caden?
I don't know. I like kind of half joking answer. When I'm walking around Sanford straight up, I think about like how many people I know, like a lot. Like y'all do that like when you're walking to class and you're like, I wonder how many people, I'm gonna see, like, that I know. Is that just me? Okay. Isaac does it. I'm not alone.
No, that's real. Yeah.
Like also like me and Edward have talked about this a lot in our small group. The idea of like who are you becoming, which if you're familiar with John Mark Comer, he talks about that like a lot. But lately I've thought a lot about like the things I'm doing, on a daily basis, like who are they shaping me to be? Like even if that's like, man, I'm spending an hour a day on Ben Brown. Like Ben Brown is great. Like I love spending time with friends here, but like is that shaping me into a person that cares more like about what people think of me? Because let's be honest, like Ben Brown is a place where you're very naturally inclined to think about like, oh, like how are people perceiving me right now?
Yeah.
And so like I've thought
That's
about
fair.
that. Like is this like shaping me to be a person that's more focused on like the glory of man and the approval of man? Or is it shaping me to be a man that's like focused on the glory of God? But like not just with Ben Brown. Like, I think about that with a lot of things, honestly. But I don't know, it's a good one to chew on, Let that sit.
Yeah. That's actually a really good question. I feel like that's hard, like, to be honest with yourself about. Because I think if you are honest, like, yeah, like, I mean, I'm sitting here right now, like, I'm definitely thinking about what people are thinking about me. Like, we're literally filming a podcast on Ben Brown. But, yeah, I think
that's like, I think you might have said it one time, is like people just, like, they just don't really care. Like, what's
true,
kind of, I don't know, yeah. Like, they may just see it and be like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then it's just kind of like, they forget about it 30 minutes later. Like, it's just kind of like, oh, it's just whatever.
It's true.
Normal day on Ben Brown. But, is there anything you want to leave us with? What are your last words?
My last words are Jack Stogner and Edward Jenkins. They're just incredible people. So, if you see them around campus, give them some love. Tell them you love the 2 Cents Pod. Go give them a follow on Instagram, man. They're turning out good content right here.
Trying to.
Yeah. Hey, they're killing it. So, yeah, I really love these guys a lot. They're quality individuals. Yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time to sit and chat with us today. If we had 2 pennies, I'd give you 2 pennies. But I don't right now.
Isaac throws away his change. I think that's insane.
We did talk about that.
If you see Isaac, flame him for that, because that's horrendous.
Jack
Literally
and Edward,
throwing
great
away
people.
money.
Isaac Tate, he's getting there. Yeah, I'm kidding. He's a great guy. He just throws away his change.
We love Isaac.
What's the keep the change?
Here's your
2 cents back.
This is the last thing. This is what I'll leave y'all with. Is I had a YMCA basketball team called Keep the Change.
Really?
Yeah, because it would be like, hey, we beat y'all, like Keep the Change. It was kind of hard.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that a new phrase going around, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah. Thanks for sitting here chatting with us. Right-handed. Yeah. Do you have a class in a little bit or what?
Not till 11:45. So
yeah, same.
Yeah, I'll probably go around Ben Brown and
sick.
Yeah.
Think about what people are thinking about you.
Exactly.
Say that.
And
you want to close this out, Edward?
And goodbye.
Say all the things.
All the things.
Yeah, there we go.
Find us wherever you find your podcasts, and bye.
Bye.
Woo!